Did the Titanic really sink on that fateful night in 1912? Or is there more to the story than what meets the eye? Let us embark on a journey back in time to that starlit night in April, over a century ago. A night that saw the demise of what was then the largest moving object ever built, the Titanic. Launched with much fanfare and hailed as unsinkable, the Titanic was a marvel of its time. This colossal ship was a symbol of human ingenuity, a testament to the era's technological prowess. But on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, it met an ill-fated end. A collision with an iceberg in the frigid North Atlantic led to its sinking, claiming the lives of more than 1,500 souls. This catastrophe sent shockwaves around the globe, a tragedy that was as unexpected as it was devastating. The official story is well known and widely accepted. A combination of reckless speed, a star-filled night with no moonlight to illuminate the iceberg, and an insufficient supply of lifeboats. This narrative has been etched into our collective consciousness, a tale of hubris meeting its icy nemesis. Yet, as is often the case with events of such magnitude, the Titanic's sinking has not been immune to speculation and conjecture. Over the years, numerous theories have emerged that challenge the official account. Some suggest that the ship that sank was not the Titanic, but its almost identical sister ship, the Olympic. Others propose that a fire in the coal bunker weakened the ship's structure, making it susceptible to the iceberg's impact. And then, there are those who hint at shadowy figures manipulating events behind the scenes for their own nefarious ends. As we delve into these theories, we tread a path fraught with intrigue and mystery. We question the accepted version of events. We question the very nature of truth. But as we delve deeper into the abyss, we find theories that challenge the official narrative, theories that might just change the way you perceive this historical event. Could the unsinkable Titanic have been switched with its sibling ship, the RMS Olympic, in a grand scheme of insurance fraud? A question that has been a point of contention for conspiracy theorists for years now. The theory suggests that the White Star Line, Titanic's parent company, under severe financial pressures, hatched a plan to secretly switch the two vessels and intentionally sink the Olympic, disguised as the Titanic, to claim insurance money. The RMS Olympic, Titanic's older sister, had seen its fair share of mishaps, including a collision with the HMS Hawke, causing a hefty damage that would be expensive to repair. The White Star Line, already under financial strain, would find it beneficial to claim insurance on a new ship, the Titanic, rather than an old damaged one, the Olympic. The theory suggests that it would be more cost-effective to sink the Olympic, disguised as the Titanic, and claim the insurance money. And what about the evidence? Proponents of the switch theory point to photographic discrepancies between the two ships. They argue that certain features of the ship that sunk, such as the number of portholes, match the Olympic more than the Titanic. Furthermore, the theory suggests that the switch was made during the Titanic's repairs, following a small fire before her maiden voyage, providing a convenient time for the swap. However, skeptics argue that the differences in design between the two ships would have made a switch highly noticeable and logistically impractical. They also point out that the insurance payout for the Titanic did not cover the full cost of the ship, making the fraud motive questionable. So we are left with a jigsaw puzzle of financial pressures, photographic discrepancies, and a supposedly unsinkable ship at the bottom of the Atlantic. The switch theory, as fascinating as it is, raises more questions than it answers. So the question remains, did the real Titanic ever sail, or was it a case of mistaken identity? What if the iceberg was not the main cause of the Titanic's sinking? What if the fire had already sealed its fate? Such is the premise of the coal fire theory, which suggests that a fire in the ship's coal bunkers had significantly weakened its structure, making it susceptible to the fatal iceberg collision. This theory, while not as widespread as some, has gained traction due to a handful of survivor testimonies and some photographic evidence. Let's delve into the details. The Titanic, like many ships of its time, was powered by coal. Coal fires on ships were relatively common and could be caused by spontaneous combustion due to heat generated by the pressure of the coal itself. It is said that a fire had been smouldering in one of Titanic's coal bunkers since the ship set sail from Southampton, England. Several survivors, including fireman Charles Hendrickson, reported seeing a strange glow emanating from one of the ship's coal bunkers. Hendrickson even testified that a group of men had been attempting to put out the fire during the journey. The ship's officers, however, allegedly downplayed the severity of the situation, possibly to avoid causing panic amongst the passengers. But how could a fire have contributed to the Titanic's demise? Well, the theory suggests that the fire, burning at temperatures of up to 1,000 degrees Celsius, would have significantly weakened the steel hull of the ship. This, in turn, would have made the ship's side more vulnerable to the iceberg's impact. Of course, this theory is not without its critics. Some argue that the fire, while possibly present, would not have been severe enough to weaken the ship's structure to a significant extent. Others question the reliability of the survivor testimonies, citing potential exaggerations or misinterpretations. Yet the coal fire theory raises an interesting question. Could the Titanic's fate have been sealed even before the iceberg was sighted? Could a mere coal fire have doomed the unsinkable ship, making it an easy target for the iceberg? Opening. Could a single man's quest for power and control have led to the Titanic's demise? In the early 20th century, a man named J.P. Morgan stood as a titan among men, a financier whose influence stretched across continents. His appetite for power and control was insatiable. Some say it was this very hunger that brought about the Titanic's tragic end. This theory is woven around the idea that Morgan, who was a major shareholder in the International Mercantile Marine Company, the parent company of the White Star Line, orchestrated the disaster to eliminate his rivals in one fell swoop. Astor, Guggenheim, and Strauss, three of the wealthiest men in the world at the time, all perished in the sinking. Each one of these men was a potential roadblock in Morgan's plans for the establishment of the Federal Reserve, a central banking system that would hand him unprecedented control over the nation's money supply. The plot thickens when we consider that Morgan was supposed to be on board the Titanic himself. He had a personal suite and private promenade deck on the ship. However, he cancelled his trip abruptly, citing illness. Yet he was seen perfectly healthy in France just 2 days after the ship's sinking. But how could Morgan ensure the ship's doom? Some believe that he had the ship intentionally weakened during its construction, ensuring it wouldn't survive a collision. Others suggest that he had inside men among the ship's crew who steered the vessel into the iceberg knowingly. As intriguing as this theory may be, it's important to remember that it's based on speculation and circumstantial evidence. While Morgan's power and influence were indeed vast, the notion that he could engineer such a disaster is a leap. However, in the world of conspiracy theories, it's often the unanswered questions that fuel the intrigue. Why did Morgan cancel his trip? Why were so many obstacles to his plans conveniently removed with the sinking of the Titanic? Closing. Was the Titanic's sinking a mere pawn in the grand chess game of power and control? So, what truly lies beneath the icy depths of the North Atlantic? A tragic accident or a sinister plot? As we've travelled down the rabbit hole of Titanic conspiracy theories, we've unearthed some intriguing, albeit unsettling, possibilities. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered. Firstly, we examined the switch theory, the idea that the Titanic was swapped with her sister ship, the RMS Olympic, as part of an insurance scam. This theory, while audacious, is largely discredited due to the logistical complexities involved and the lack of compelling evidence. Next, we delved into the coal fire theory, suggesting that a smouldering fire in the Titanic's coal bunker weakened the ship's hull, contributing to its catastrophic demise. Although a coal fire did indeed burn on the ship, most experts agree that this was unlikely to have been a significant factor in the sinking. Then, we explored the J.P. Morgan conspiracy, positing that the financier intentionally sank the ship to eliminate rivals and consolidate his power. This theory, while tantalizing in its implications, is largely speculative and lacks concrete evidence. As we weigh these theories, it's important to remember that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Each of these theories presents a provocative alternative narrative, but none offer a compelling case against the accepted explanation that the Titanic struck an iceberg and sank due to a series of unfortunate events and human errors. The allure of conspiracy theories often lies not in their factual accuracy, but in their capacity to challenge the status quo and provoke thought. They invite us to question the narratives we accept as truth and to consider the complexities and subtleties that may be hidden beneath the surface. Perhaps we'll never know the complete truth, but it's worth pondering, isn't it? After all, history is often more complex than the story written on the surface.